Have you ever been frustrated at God's silence to you? Maybe you've prayed and prayed and prayed about a particular thing and you just don't hear anything from God. You just don't hear anything. And okay, you're not expecting that there's going to be some sort of, miraculous sign in the sky. That'd be nice, but you're not expecting that. Maybe the dream would be nice, but God doesn't always speak to us through dreams. Wouldn't it be wonderful if somebody came up to us in the street and said, I've got a word from God for you. I don't know what it means, but does this make any sense to you? That'd be great, happens sometimes. But then you're just kind of thinking, maybe if God would just give me a sense of yes or no, right or wrong, this way or that way in my heart, at the very least, couldn't he just give me that? But it still doesn't come. Over a period of 10 years, my wife and I tried to start a family. And we tried IVF, we tried adoption. We tried special diets. We tried chiropractic. You'll try anything, really, won't you? We had numerous opportunities for healing prayer, and none of it actually worked. And I've got to say, during those 10 years, Maren and I were in a position where even hearing God say no would have been a mercy to us. Even hearing God say, no, this is not my plan for you to have a family. Let's grieve. Let's move on because I've got something else for you. But we didn't even get that. And the funny thing was that during that 10 years, Maren and I had guidance on all sorts of other areas in our life. We were in Brisbane, in Australia. That's our hometown. We had clear guidance to move from Brisbane to Perth for me to start a radio career over there. We had clear guidance a few years later for Maren to start a new career in medical statistics when she'd be doing something else completely different. Really found her spot. We had clear guidance to move from Perth to Sydney to start a particular radio program and do other things like that. Very clear guidance in other areas of our lives. But then when it came to asking him about this whole area of our family, complete silence. Why is that? I don't think I've even got any answers for you. But after, I guess, a few years now down the track, when we've started again after our own broken dream and had an opportunity to just look back and reflect a bit, pray, get to know God even more, it seems to me that sometimes we demand answers from God when actually do we have any right to demand answers from God? You think about Job. You think about that guy who lost everything. The story tells us in the Bible that he lost his family, he lost his health, he lost all his riches, he lost all his cattle and his fields, he lost everything. And most of the book recounts him asking questions of God. Why would this happen? Why would you let this happen? Why is this happening? Surely something bad like this can't happen to the righteous. And in fact, the early parts of Job call him a righteous man. So he's trying to wrestle with these things, question, why, God, why? And there's friends around him that have got their own little theories as to why this has happened to him. Around chapter 38, 39, 40, God breaks his silence. He's been completely silent for most of the story. He breaks his silence, and what does he do? He comes and displays his glory, his greatness. He says, where are you when I look after the animals in the world? Where are you when I bind up the heavens and then I let go of the thunderstorms? Where are you when I do this? He just simply talks about his greatness and his glory. Does he answer any of Job's questions? Not one of them. But at the end of the book, we find Job saying, my ears had heard of you, now my eyes have seen you. So there is something, I guess, in the whole experience of silence of God to us that is an opportunity for us to maybe hang on to the previous words he said to us, let them ring a little bit louder, a little bit longer in our lives. I think there is something in the silence of God of actually recognizing there are times when he says, I'm not going to tell you. That's not my role. Your role is to follow. If you've really given me your life, well then it's time for you to follow, whether you know what I'm doing or not. But also recognize that during that silence, when you're looking for guidance and you're not too sure, yes, no, right, left, that he is doing something. God's silence never means his absence.